Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. I'm Michael Spano from Agents of Real Estate, and today I have with me Jen Carchidi with Meet the Stagers. Thanks for coming in. This is pretty cool, and I thought it'd be good to talk about staging and how it works. It is part of real estate. I know mostly real estate agents use them, but we can help maybe give our viewers an understanding of how it works, how it relates to everything, and also what's your story, where you came from, and how you got to this point.
Okay.
Did you always say you wanted to be a stager, or did it just happen by fluke?
It just happened. So I was an event planner for about 16 years. Started there when I was about 19. I wore many different hats there. I was the manager, I did the schedule, I was event planner, I was everything. And then in 2013, I got pregnant. And actually 2012, I had my daughter, 2013, and I went on mat leave. And while I was on mat leave, I got pregnant yet again with my son. So event planning is very on call. So you are just
You're on demand for whatever they do.
Yeah, 24 hours, you're always working. I dealt with corporations. So I went back after mat leave and I spoke to my employer and I said, this is gonna be hard for me to do, to be on call like this 24 hours. So
Well, you got two kids at home.
And with two babies in diapers.
Yeah.
So I said, I've been here 16 years. I know things that I can take at home and things that I can do here. Can we separate it where I come into the office 3 days a week and I stay home 2 days a week and I work? Because my mom was gonna readjust her schedule for me so she could stay with the kids. Because at the time, daycare was $3,500 for both of them.
And mat leave's only 1 year.
And mat leave's only 1 year.
Even if you have back-to-back kids?
Even if you have back-to-back kids,
Huh.
Yeah.
It's not per kid?
It's not per kid. No. Anyways, back and forth, they said yes and they said no and they forced me into resigning.
Okay.
So it was very emotional for me because I felt like that was my family. And I put a lot of my own time into that, missing my own personal events to do things last minute for them. And
What kind of events? The corporate events, you said?
all corporate
Okay.
events, all corporate events. That being said, I decided that I was not gonna ever work for anybody again.
Okay.
I
Your
wanted
entrepreneurial
to-
journey starts there.
That's where,
Okay.
yeah. I knew I was gonna be a full-time mom, but I wanted something to fall back on as well. While I was pregnant with my son, I took a course in decor and staging.
Cool.
Of course, that was a slow process when they were in diapers. But I would say in the last 3 years, 3-ish, 4-ish years, it's taken off.
So you've been
been
doing
doing
it though.
well.
You've
Yeah.
been doing it. Mom, mother of two, and growing a business.
Yes, yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Maybe you should share with our viewers some advice on that. How to
Manage my time?
Yeah, how to manage your time, sanity, health.
You work late at night to get the laundry done after the kids go to sleep. No, it's difficult.
You just make it work.
Oftentimes, you just make it work. Oftentimes I've had to bring them with me to
Oh,
work,
okay.
the kids. If they're not feeling well or during COVID, what do you do?
Gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do what you gotta do. They come with me. I'll go back and forth 2 trips.
So you got to be passionate to do that, though. You have to enjoy what you're doing in order to
I do.
to do that stuff. So that's really cool.
Yeah,
that's really
yeah.
cool. So staging is done. We see it with mostly agents. Do you find you're using a lot of end users, or is it mostly real estate agents?
Mostly agents.
Mostly
yes,
agents.
yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
And how does the process work? We find a customer, we sign them up, and we usually decide within days that we need a stager. And we call and we say, we need to stage today. We need it right away.
And that's what it is.
And that's what it is.
Today, you gotta come tomorrow. You gotta come. We gotta have it.
How does that process work? Do you go in and see the property first,
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
before
so
you?
it's in 3 stages. So
Okay,
the
let's
first
shoot.
thing is a consultation. So I set up an appointment to go actually see the property, take some pictures, and I create a room-by-room report for the client.
Okay.
And in that room-by-room report, I will list everything that I want them to remove from the spaces.
Okay.
Things that I want to change, like if there's any repairs that are required. Are your baseboards broken that need repairing? Maybe I've seen some mold somewhere that we
Okay,
have
so you'll
to
touch on that as
attention.
well.
I have to touch on everything.
Okay.
Lighting in the home, lighting's so important. If it's dark and dingy, I want them to change out their light bulbs, maybe add some new light fixtures, just because that does make an impact on the home as well. So a room by room report that just describes what I need them to do before the staging can even begin. Then I'll go back and forth with the client, give them my email, and me and the client now speak. And they'll always ask me questions. What do you think about this? What do you think? Do I have to move this? Can I do that? Can I do this? Because sometimes, especially when it's an older client, they can't do all this. So then I say, this is my report.
And they still have to live there.
And they still have to live there. This is my report. This is what's going to make your home look the best. But if you can't do everything, you let me know and I will work with that. And then I just, that day, I make it work, whatever the case is. So that's what we do.
So go in, check it out. And is there, when removing, like how does it work? Because I'm horrible at decor. Like I know what I like, but I don't know how it all matches together.
Yes.
So I'll mix and match pieces. But how do you know, is it science-based? Or is it like personal experience? What works? Is it like, depending on how high the ceilings are, depends how big the furniture is going to be?
You hit it exactly. Scale. Scale is so important.
Scale is very important.
Scale is so important. You can't have this dinky little picture on this gigantic wall. That's not going to look good, right?
No.
You have to have everything to scale to make it look like it flows. And when a potential homeowner walks into the home, you want them to feel at ease. You want them to have that feeling when they walk in. And that's all done with color.
Symmetrical.
All done with symmetry. That's done with pieces to scale. When you have this very large couch in this small space, all that tells them is this is a small house and I don't have enough space in this house.
You know what we noticed with condos, one-bedroom dens, is if you put too big of a desk in the den, it really doesn't serve. The client usually says, oh, it's a little small.
Right.
But if you put a little one that actually matches the area, even a little smaller,
Yes.
they love it. They're like, oh, wow, this looks great.
100%.
And it helps. It's helped.
It 100% helps. And I think that's where education comes in on my end as a stager, because I go to homes and they'll say to me, is this really going to do anything?
Do we know, how do we measure that?
Yeah, is this really going to help?
We measure through feedback.
Exactly.
We measure through feedback, and it's not always transparent or like fully open. We talk to agents all the time, the opposing agent, and they don't really give us much. It's not like they're gonna say, oh, they didn't like the furniture. They know it's staged, they know to what degree. How about this? How about, what do you know that we don't? In any sort of tactic or strategy to stage a specific property or a specific scenario that I wouldn't think of in terms of science or education?
Well, as I said, scale.
Scale's
is the first
one.
thing.
Okay.
Scale's most important, having everything to scale, and that's with pictures, that's with furniture.
Okay.
And the second thing would be color. Colors have have a science to them,
Yeah,
right?
of course they do.
They bring different moods
100%,
into a
yeah.
room. Blues are often very calming colors.
Okay.
And reds are very good for certain ethnic backgrounds.
Okay.
But actually can be very offensive to others. Red's a very harsh color. So whenever I see red in a space, I often tell them to remove it, whether it's in a picture or pillows, just let it.
And there's a lot of science around colors.
Yes,
especially marketing and for stuff like that.
100%.
So this makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. So reds I typically try to remove. And so that's it. So I try to work with color schemes and with scale. And those are the two things. And lighting is so important because, again, lighting is all about mood. And also you want the pictures to look sharp.
That's true, yeah.
In photos. So when you have this dingy sort of lighting, it's not going to look good. It's not going to look bright. It's not going to look crisp.
Makes sense.
So I often tell them to switch out light bulbs, and if need be, maybe switch out sun.
Now, when you ask, okay, so when you go there to do a consultation for a real estate agent, okay? You obviously share everything you think should be done, or you write it all down, you send it all off.
Yes.
Now, how much of the other stuff besides staging does the agent actually listen to? Do they want to participate with you on saying get new light fixtures or paint the place? Are they hesitant? Do they say, you know what?
If I'm going to answer that question honestly.
Yeah, I want to know what, because I could see agents just saying, don't worry about that.
I actually have a conversation with the agent first.
Okay.
And I ask them, I'll go see the home, and I'll talk to the homeowners about little things while I'm there.
Yeah, you can't tell the homeowner about painting and then
put
it back on the agent after.
Don't do that. So then I'll go back and I'll say, okay, so this is what I've seen. Do you want me to mention it in the report?
Makes sense.
What do you want? And sometimes they'll say, you know what, I've actually already discussed it with them and they're going to take care of it. They're going to pay for it. So definitely do it. Or yeah, I'm going to pay for it. No problem. I just want this house to look amazing. And other times it's, you know what, no, don't bring it up. Just do whatever we can with what you have, and that's it. So I always have that
conversation. It could get carried away, depending on who you're dealing with.
So I always have that conversation first with the...
because costs can get out of the way. Condos or houses? What do you stage more?
Mostly I stage homes.
Homes, okay. I would have thought condos.
Yeah, no, mostly.
But a lot of homes as well. We've staged a lot of homes as well. But homes are big. Homes get expensive too to stage.
Homes can get expensive, yes, 100%. But it depends. Is it a vacant home, or can I use pieces in that home? Oftentimes I do try to use
as much as you can.
As much as I can, because I know it can get very expensive. And not only that, they have to live there still.
So what's the average cost on a condo and for the agent and on a freehold or detached home. Or
Okay, so let's just
house.
say vacant, because if it's not vacant,
Let's go
it's hard
vacant,
to
yeah.
determine. So if it's vacant, a condo, depending on size, you can be anywhere between $2,000 and $3,000.
Okay, a month for the first
For
month.
the first month, the second month is at a discounted rate.
Okay, so we're gonna say fairly the last 5-7 years, it's been 1 or 2 months in a sale, max. Like on average.
yeah, I would say
On
on
average.
average,
It could go 3 months, but
Yeah.
you know, on average, it's been 4 days in a sale.
Exactly.
The way we've had this
Well, the
hot
way it was
market over
before,
7
it was
years,
very
and,
quick.
and
But now,
maybe now it's
I'm seeing 30, 60 days.
30, 60 days.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
So 2,000 to 3,000 for a condo,
Yeah.
and then how much for a home?
And a home, again, depending on the size of the home, you would say anywhere between 3 and 6, depending on the
So
size.
it's a chunk.
Yeah.
It's pricey stuff, and
Yes.
it can get, you know, you got to paint the house, you got lighting or whatever you got to fix,
Exactly.
baseboards. You know,
Yeah.
it can get expensive.
Oh yeah. And I tell people priority, right? So let's hit the priorities first and let's get to everything else after. And I ask people, this is my list, this is what I think is going to be best for you, but you also have a budget in mind. So let's not go over that budget. I'm very honest with people and I'm trying to be very fair. Let's do priority first. Priority, if you have, I stepped into one house the other day and every single wall was a bright color. It was orange, it was green, it was blue, it was yellow. And I looked at this.
In the 70s, it would have been nice.
And the 70s.
60s and 70s.
And I had already spoken to the realtor at this point, so she's, please try to convince her to do the colors. Like, she actually said that because it's never going to sell this way. So I walked in and I said, you're going to have to paint here. Why? Look at how beautiful these
She's
colors
proud.
are. I said,
She's proud of her stuff.
I said, these colors are gorgeous. I said, what? I said, the problem is, I said, and this is the thing, is that people can't imagine their own furniture in this home, and you want them to imagine their own furniture in this home. So let's neutralize it. I said, you know what? I'm not going to tell you the color. You pick the color, just make it neutral. Because I want her to feel like she's having a say as well.
She's obviously attached to these colors.
Attached to
Yeah.
them, right? So you pick the color, but make sure it's just neutral. And so that when people walk in, they're saying, wow, this is a beautiful space, and I can see my couch here, and I can see my bed there, and I can see my desk there. And she's like, can't I just leave this and that? I said, leave one wall that you like, your favorite wall, and you leave one wall. And she said, okay. And so
You're going to use it as an accent wall anyway.
And so she was happy with that, and she changed the colors. But that's because I made her feel like she was a part of the process. And I didn't make her feel like her decisions, her decor decisions were horrible. No, they're not. They suit you.
Yeah.
But we need a general sort of flow in there so that everybody can feel at home here.
I think we've already said this. Agents hire you.
Yeah.
Agents pay for all this stuff, okay? Consumers never pay. They never make the homeowner pay.
It's rare that I've seen it has happened.
It has happened.
It
Okay,
has.
I brought it up because I see this a lot in real estate, and sometimes we're forced within dealing with everybody to offer free things, to
Yeah.
offer staging or offer painting. I know we have mutual friends who did that in Liberty Village, okay?
Right.
And they had painted, the agent had painted and spent a few bucks and staged and did whatever he had to do. And I had the chance to ask him, I go, what did you think of this? And they felt that the agent had invested in the property. Okay,
They
so
had or hadn't?
had,
Okay, yeah.
because the agent paid for staging,
Right.
paid for painting, put some money in, and had paid to invest in the property. But in all my studies of negotiation and positional negotiation, it doesn't serve to operate from a position of deficit. So as the negotiator, if I'm the business, right? So I'm the real estate agent, and I've paid $5,000 to do something. Now I'm out money.
Right.
So I'm operating from a negative position. I'm operating from I have to redeem what I've lost, okay? Does that,
And you're saying if it doesn't sell the home.
if it doesn't sell.
Okay.
So that you can't prove it. There's no way to see it because you can't go before and after negotiation.
Right,
Once it
right,
sells,
right.
it sells.
Right.
If you're operating from a weak position, will you take a weaker offer? Will you be more lenient in negotiation? So this is the things I look at to say, how would it benefit the client for me to pay for staging? And it would have to be, maybe it would be consumer pays for it, and upon sale, we credit them back.
Yeah, that's
How good is that? Because now you take the cost away, and it's not about not wanting to pay for it. It's about just
the risk
being in
you're
that
taking.
negative, insecure position.
but
It's not about risk.
so here's the thing. Sometimes, and I agree with you, that's a good
And
way to look
I don't know
at
which
it.
one it is.
If you sell and then you take over that, or maybe you do a half split.
I don't know.
But there has been times where I've also taken a hit, and I think sometimes that you have to do that because it just looks good on you, And
But you took the hit after.
I took the hit because, let's say, okay, as an example, one time I had a realtor and I need this house staged tomorrow and we have no time to see it. And I said, I don't really work that way and I need to see the home, but he's like trying to do it through pictures and this and that. And I really can't see everything that way. So I quoted him based on that and I had to put more into it than what I quoted him. And I said to myself,
you ate the cost.
I ate it because I said to myself, it was a new realtor especially that I worked with. So I was like, you know what? I don't want this person to think that I'm going back on what I told them. Cases. So
at least until they build a relationship.
Yeah, I'm going to do what I can. I want them to see my work. I will tell them what happened, but I'm going to tell them that I'm going to eat this now, and then going forward, obviously it's going to be different, but so that I can build that relationship with them. And then, in fact, I ended up getting more work because of that, because they appreciated that, because I did it last minute, because...
And they know the value. The agent knows.
The value. Exactly.
Knows you did a little bit extra maybe, or you went all out for what he paid for, what he's used to paying for.
Exactly. And oftentimes I'm doing things I'm not hired to do. I'm cleaning. I'm on my hands and knees. I'm cleaning windowsills. Because I want this place to look good. And I want my stuff to be there as well in a clean environment. So I'm cleaning too. So sometimes, yeah, we do take a little bit of a hit, but I think it's a benefit in the long run.
Taking a hit is one thing.
Yeah.
But being out of pocket,
yeah,
personally, during a negotiation, the negotiator themselves, the negotiator themselves being outside with the charge, in debt or in a loss position, all the studies, all the science says it's a poor position to be in.
100%.
I don't know if it is or isn't. I don't know if you're going to get $1,000 more, 10% more, 10% less based on that. But all I know is motivations, right? Just trying to learn what motivates, what behavior begets something else or other behaviors.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if paying for something is beneficial to the consumer.
From what I've seen, I know that.
Oh, by the way, also on that note, sorry to interrupt you, but also on that note, sometimes agents pay and the customer doesn't list after. So they want a house painted for free.
Oh.
Just clever people.
I've never experienced that.
Could you imagine that?
Yeah, I've never experienced that.
Could you imagine going to do a listing, okay, and you got the paperwork signed and you've hired the pictures, you've hired this and that, and then they say, you know what, I'm going to wait.
Oh, yeah.
And it's up to them. You can't really force them to sell. You're not.
I don't know.
It's crazy.
That's
crazy stuff.
So yeah, that's something for them.
But I was thinking out loud, but it's pretty cool.
But I know that when conversation with people, they do tend to want the realtor to.
Of course, they expect it.
They expect it.
They expect it.
Yeah.
And I speak with agents, and I've done it myself. We don't mind. We do it. We put it out there, a bigger picture.
Homes that aren't staged because, let's say, the realtor does want to save, and the homeowner, they discussed it, and they don't want to do staging, and they don't want to do painting. And you see the difference in homes in the MLS pictures, and and that makes a difference. Is that someone is not going to want to walk into this home versus this home because of how it's presented.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
You know, and I've seen MLS listings with even dishes in the sink. Like, how do you list that?
It's weird, yeah, what people
do.
Yeah.
So yes, I get what you're saying, but it's the presentation, and you don't want to miss out on even one person walking into that door.